Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Swati, and today I am going to mention all the books that I loved in 2022 and preach about them and convince you to read them and maybe find a book that you love. So I read 27 books, and out of them, only 5 of them were like the books that I feel that I would reread, and some of them I have started rereading, and so that is the benchmark of uh, my absolute favorite books, that if I am going to reread that book, that means that I enjoyed it that much. It, that's obvious, I guess. But yeah, let's start. So, On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Wong. So I first didn't read his book, but heard him speak. I heard his podcast. I don't remember the name of the podcast, but I will, if I find the link, I will mm, put in it in the description. But yeah, the way he talks, he is so knowledgeable and he's so eloquent. He's so amazing with words that it made me convinced to buy this book. And when it is a letter written by a son for his mother who can't read, and that is such a beautiful concept. And I think Ocean Wong has such a good grasp on his language that he makes every word count. Like, you can't read a word, a sentence in this book, and it just makes something shifts in you. And even if you just flip through the book and just randomly open a chapter, like a page, and you randomly select a paragraph and you read it, it feels like you are reading a poetry. And it's also fragmented, but it all weaves together so brilliantly that you just, it makes such a beautiful read. I think if you are like the books with so much vibe and not so much of plot, I think you should give this book a try. And if you like poetry, please read this book. I just can't recommend this enough. It has some heavy topics like war, trauma, drugs and its addictions, race, racism, gender, sexuality, and most importantly, memory and love. And I think everyone should read this book once in their life. And the second one is Normal People by Sally Rooney. So I if you have following me on this channel, I think you should know that I absolutely am biased towards Sally Rooney. I would drop everything if that woman just uh, maybe give a page of essay for me to read. Like, I don't know, I just she has this way with her words. Like, she would be describing some mundane things, and which you won't notice in your normal life. You would just glance through it, and you just uh, it makes you observe the world around you so much more, that it's so beautiful. And no, so I have two Salioni books on my list, so I should mention those two simultaneously. But yeah, so this one, maybe we should talk about this one first. So Normal People is about Connell and Marianne, who have known each other for forever. They were in the school together. Uh, they knew each other. Like, it's their 4 year journey, I think. And uh, if you talk about the plot, there is nothing much is happening. Like, they uh, in school they get together, then they break up, and then they don't talk to each other, then they are again together, I guess. There's not much of a story if you think about it like that. But the way these characters and their feelings and their situations and their opinions are described is what makes this book worth it. Like, you you live their life, you understand yourself better after reading this book. And that's what I like about Sally Rooney, that she makes her characters so real, and she has this insane power in herself that she creates these characters and makes them feel like real people, which is uh, amazing, because I love those kind of books which make me uh, which makes my like mm, entire being shift. And then there is Beautiful World, Where Are You? This is the book that introduced me to Sally Rooney, and I am so glad that I read this first before reading anything else, because I think normal people, I wouldn't have understood it this much if I hadn't read Beautiful World, Where Are You? Which I'll tell you why. Because A Beautiful World, Where Are You? It's about basically about four people and their way. Like it's again, there is not much plot. There is nothing like insanely uh, big happening. It's just normal people living. Okay, normal people reference, but yeah, it's normal people living life and trying to make sense of it, and try to figure out what is it to live in this world. And some people say that this reads like an essay and she should have just written an essay, but that's what I like about this book. It makes me question my perspective. It makes me look at it opened new pathways in my mind which I didn't know existed, with its argument and its thoughts and its observations, and made me much more aware of the world. And there are paragraphs containing just descriptions of very mundane things, and they are written so carefully, deliberately, and attentively that it's unlike how we see world, and it makes it so beautiful. And yeah, so if you are convinced with my entire rant, please read a Sally Rooney book. And if you are like first time reader, please don't go with conversation with friends, because I think that was the least favorite Sally Rooney book that I picked. And I think you should go with Beautiful World, Where Are You? Because yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it was mine, and I I would love that to sip on that tea forever. And then there was Less by Andrew Steen Greer. It took me like 4 years to get around to read this book, and when I finally did, I'm so glad that I did. It's about this person, Les, who is an author, and he is around 50, and he's dealing with existential crisis. And you will think that 50-year-old shouldn't have existential crisis, but you will relate to this 50-year-old and you will think, I am only 24. How am I relating to this guy? And yeah, so he is like basically running away from his problems, which is that he recently broke up with his boyfriend, and like his boyfriend broke up with him, and he is now getting married, and so he has to get away from whole situation. So he randomly starts accepting all the literary events that have come to his way, that leads him to travel around the world. And he goes to different places and experiences different turmoils, and experiences new things, and along the way is trying to write his novel. And so this book has a very solid story, and it's very feel good. It's very witty, and I what I liked about it is that this book has like I think it was very pleasant to read this book. That's why I liked it so much. So the next one is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I think this is the one book that has the most plot in all the five books that I have mentioned. It's a proper story with its conflicts and its love story and all. And I loved it because it made me feel giggly, and it made me feel uh, like I don't like contemporary romances, and somehow I like romance in this book, and I was an absolute fangirl while reading this, and it was embarrassing how I was reacting to some of the scenes in this book, and I'm still trying to find the mini series that was adapted from this book, and I I haven't found it online because it's not available in our country. But yeah, I love this book because of the love story. Just let's just say that I wouldn't read the first 100 pages because it's just Jane Eyre's childhood and her whole like this the situation she was in. Started liking it after she was like she turned 18 and she got the job of a governess, and I when she meets Mr. Rochester, and I think this book worked for me because of the love story, and it has some of the feminism and the strong female character that you expect from books nowadays, which you sometimes books don't give you. It's such it's so amazingly present in this book, and I loved that. I loved that aspect of this book so much because what happens is there is like power dynamic, right? Because Mr. Rochester is her employer, and there is a romantic situation going on, and it could sometimes lead to a I don't know, misogynist patriarchal setup, but the way Jane Eyre was written, the character is absolute feminist. She just stands her ground. She knows what she wants, and she never kneels, and that's absolutely amazing. And yeah, so that's why I like this book, and if you haven't read this, I hope you do because it's a book that you shouldn't miss. So yeah, these are the five books that I loved in 2022, and I hope you found these recommendations useful, and you will pick up some of these books and read them. And please tell me if you have read them, how you like them. And so yeah, that's it for the video, and let's see each other in the next one.